James King here, writer for Higher Ed Digital Magazine. Seems to be the lonely crew member today, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert. Yes, it is just me and James currently. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. Well, James, I was gonna say we're the Jersey boys, but you're still a Jersey boy because you spent a chunk of your life here. So you're still a Jersey boy. I'm not letting go of that.
All right. I'll be proud, Jersey boy.
Yes. So yeah, so it's just James and I as of right now. I think I'm getting a little FOMO now, James, because I'm seeing the tweets for ISE. I'm seeing that's part of the reason, like, Nancy's not here because she's on her way. Joe is on his way. This is Thursday, what is this? Today's the 26th. So by the time this episode comes out on Monday, ISE will be in swing. So right, I think my days are my days are off.
I
on
think
that.
you're correct.
Or almost, or it'll be almost on. Yeah, I think it starts on the 31st.
Right.
So yeah, this will release on the 30th, and then so the next day, but it'll basically be ISE. The 30th, we'll see all my favorite thing are the pre-show pictures that the manufacturers release of their booths, either in construction or like as they finished it. Gina's notorious for that. She'll send out those tweets of like, we're putting together the Atlas booth and then here's how it looked out. And I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, no, those are definitely great to see. Great posts, marketing material. It's pretty cool. And like you said, it's already seeing all the posts, and the FOMO is hitting hard.
Yeah. As I say, the one thing that we've got going for us, at least I'm, since I could start planning for Infocom. So at least I've got something to look forward to in a few months. And I will live vicariously in Barcelona with all of our higher ed folk that are out there. So
Yeah, I agree. So with that said, Tim, let's
Mhm.
take the whole cost kind of out of the equation, because I
Mhm.
know cost is there. If you had the opportunity, like you could afford it, would you be at ISE?
Yeah, I would. It's funny, actually. I was just talking to my wife about that today. We dropped my son off he had a writing class this afternoon before he had wrestling practice, and so we dropped him off for the writing, and we went and took a walk around the track right by where he has his class, and we were talking about that and how we if we had the opportunity to go, yeah, I mean, it's Barcelona. Like, I would love to go to Barcelona, and also for the technology as well. But it's like, if you given the opportunity to go to Europe and to go see the history that's there, would just be awesome, and then to cap off the technology and seeing the global AV community that comes along with that. Like, it's not, and we are an AV family, but a lot of the time we have it just here in the United States. And then, occasionally we get some folks that come across the pond, like Justin. And but this is going the other way. So I think that would be pretty cool. What about you?
I always say that even if I could get work to approve it and pay for it, I don't think my wife will allow me to go. Like, my wife would kill me. I would definitely have to, like, bring her along. And then it runs
Mhm.
into, like, we got 3 kids. Like, right now, you got school going on. So, like, it's
Mhm.
not like I could take the kids out of school and give them to the in-laws back in Jersey. That's why I go to Barcelona with the wife. So I would say it'd be very difficult if money wasn't. The money is definitely the question
Mhm.
but yeah, if money wasn't a factor on this, it would be hard because I have other variables playing role. Like I said, the 3 kids and with school and sports and all that.
That's true. Yeah, no, it would when you put it that way. Yeah, I mean, my wife and son, like it would be more feasible for me to go by myself. And I was telling her, I was like, I'd rather go with you though. Like if I'm going to Barcelona, like I'd like to bring you with me. Um, but yeah, it'd probably be more feasible for me to go by myself. But also, we just finished. Wait, hold on. Martin Luther King. That was the 16th, 23rd. We're about to go into the third week of the semester. Like it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a hard sell. Like,
Yeah, that's definitely a hard sell for work. I mean, granted, at the medical building here, our semester starts sooner. So I'm thinking
mm-hmm,
we are trying to remember, we might be 4 weeks in now um
mm-hmm,
to our term. So yeah, it's a little longer into it, but like yes, I like you said, feasible for me to go alone, but I know my wife would kill me. And
mm-hmm.
I don't even mean jokingly. I think she literally would kill me if I would go to Barcelona without her.
Oh,
Nor would I want to.
yeah, I understand. I completely understand.
Hello, my
Murphy,
friends.
you are
Hi,
here.
Murphy.
We were just vamping about our little bit of FOMO with ISE and the given the chance to
Oh,
go. Yeah, if we were given the chance to go and if money wasn't the object, and it was just us Jersey boys for a little bit,
mm,
because I'm still claiming James as Jersey, by the way. It's been
uh,
almost a
that's
year
nice
now,
of
but I'm
you.
still claiming him. So
Not a year yet. Soon. Soon.
as
James,
soon, yeah, but not yet.
James,
Not
are
yet.
you still claiming yourself to be of Jersey?
Um, I think you can never take the jersey out of a person.
Okay, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
So as long as you are wanting to identify as Jersey, I probably not say New Jersey,
You got
No,
Joyzy,
New
there's
Jersey.
no.
the thing that none of us actually say, but yeah.
Yep. Just like I
Except
get yelled at here, I even my family yells at me because I keep saying, and most outsiders say Nevada when it's actually Nevada. And so
Yeah,
my wife
it's
and the kids
Nevada.
yell at me all the time. And
Nevada.
again,
Nevada.
Nevada. That's the proper way of saying it.
Nevada.
Yeah.
So
Certainly
Yeah.
yeah, I
for
would be
someone from
yeah.
New Jersey.
What was that, Murph?
Certainly for a New Jersey. There's a lot of
Yeah.
vowels happening. Nevada.
Yeah.
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah, bring a little Staten Island into that. Nevada.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right.
Las Vegas.
Okay. Going back to our whole ISC FOMO,
Okay.
Joe Way just posted his first ISC selfie.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
With
Uh-oh.
yeah,
Boy. Does it
like come
include a
on.
drink? Of course it does.
It probably
And
does.
Or maybe
Joe's
it's
not
just
even
his,
here, and he took over the show.
I know, really? This is
oh,
like, come on now.
Yep.
Show away. Let's see where we got. What do we got? What do we got? Yes, the best. He already ran into save.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's at the airport. Well, we knew he was going to be at the airport for this. So, well, there you go. So this is how it starts. It starts with the airport selfies, and then it goes from there.
okay, my friends. I know I came late,
That's okay.
but
Speaking of selfies, right?
yes.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Please pardon the pause in the podcast as we
Yeah.
do our podcast identification picture.
So yeah, it's been a crazy week.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We were saying the same thing. I don't know
Yes.
what it is about now. So, but yeah.
Mm.
So, what's been going on with you, Murphy? If you'd like to share.
No, where to begin? I am working on a project that has to do with boring holes in concrete and drilling like conduit for fiber across a compound. So I think it's 1,500 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We got mapped out where it's supposed to go, and
Mhm.
that would be fine if everyone involved were focused on doing that. But about a bazillion other things popped up in the middle of, oh
Mhm.
wait, we're gonna do this, and so it's been like last week and this week has been every morning some drama,
Mhm.
but we're still on track. We get, it costs a little more than maybe we started with, but still on track and happening, which is the main thing.
Well,
Um,
that's always important too.
That's good.
yes.
Yep.
And, that's very good. And it's in my new world, there's just a lot of last minute stuff. It's not the same as events are not the same as steady Eddie corporate
Mhm.
or higher ed. I'm sure.
Yeah. I think the thing is special about higher ed, and maybe I'm speaking incorrectly here, but the way I look at it, I say it's a mixture of live events and corporate, because you
Mhm.
do kind of have the plans, but then you don't have the plans. Like there are live events and things that go haywire and the elements that you would find in a live event, but you also have the structure, you have your business meetings and conferences and things like that that you do find in the corporate world. So we got the mix of both worlds, I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that you have the faculty could definitely be almost as picky as some of the corporate level executives. And you definitely need to make the technology in such a way that anybody could walk in and use it, which is what I'm sure executive level corporate people would like to see. So yeah, there's definitely some similarities there. And we have the fun environment of live events. So I could definitely make comparisons.
It's
Definitely.
I'm having to, release the desire to control. Like, hey, yes.
Let it go. Let it go.
What's the most important thing? Yeah. And like, okay, just, reprioritize, like, yeah. So I am developing new standards for how that works. And I'm really happy to be part of this world that I haven't been part of before, with venues and events, and it's very different, but it kind of gives me a big portfolio. Lord knows I hate doing the same thing all the time.
Mhm. Well, I that's the reason I've stayed in higher ed as long as I think I have, is that every day there's something new. Like it
Oh yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah. And it could be about a difference in a project. It could be a difference in a classroom going down. It could be, like today, one of our help desk manager was running late, and then the help desk supervisor was out sick. So I was at the help desk helping the kids, kind of get their day started because we have student workers who man the phones. So, or excuse me, that what's the word?
Staff the phones.
Staff the phones. Thank you. I'm sorry. I should be more
Eh,
inclusive of that term.
it doesn't really matter.
Um, So, well, I'm trying here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's hard to,
I,
there's some habits that are harder to break than others. So,
I agree with Tim. It's definitely hard to break some of those habits, but I find myself doing that as well. Like, for example, I have two males that work for me, but I actually make it a conscious decision when I address them. I don't go, "Hey guys," I go,
mhm,
"Team." Um,
right,
like I try not to use the old languages that we're used to growing up with.
right.
It has, yeah. It's
I
good
will
to
say it's
think
been,
about it.
yeah, So there's this one guy on TikTok that I've caught. He goes by Nicholas, is how he goes, and he likes to explain like where different phrases and stuff like that come from. And I like that sort of stuff. Like the other day, he released one for nitty gritty, and he started off with, well, nobody really knows for sure where this one came from. And he's got such an eloquent voice, and he wears bow ties, which I'm always a big fan of. For
Okay.
those of you who know me, I appreciate a good bow tie. So
So Tim, does he
yeah.
provide sources of where he gets this information from?
Yeah, he verbally states where he's identified these different things from. So yeah, he's very accurate. He's very
That's good.
accurate about it. Yeah. So it's not just like he doesn't deliver
Someone saying.
himself in a way. Right. Yeah. It's not just him flying off the cuff of this is what I found, so it has to be true. It's like, no, he does his research for these,
Done his
and
homework.
yes.
The
So
only way I would ever get on TikTok is on a burner phone.
I won't even get on TikTok with a burner phone.
Yeah, I was thinking
Right.
that way. Like, that's it. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near
Well,
that. So you go
well,
over there
now,
and
yeah.
tell us what it's like.
Well, and
I
that's the
wouldn't
thing
do it.
is that it's becoming more, and this could be a topic of conversation for maybe this episode or another one, but now it's becoming a bigger and bigger issue with different state governments, and New Jersey's one of them, that on state provided devices, they don't want you having TikTok. And I know it happened in Iowa, with Mike Peterson. And so it's becoming a thing because of how the Chinese have put their algorithm and things like that. And so we're getting into a very interesting zone when it comes to that for TikTok. So, yeah. So it's an interesting platform because, I've talked to other, like some of the dads and moms that, my son's friends have their parents, they have TikTok, and, I say like that's like, I've talked about some of the videos I've seen, and there goes, well, we've seen this, and this. And I'm like, well, they really dial in that algorithm. They keep you in that, like you stay in you stay your lane. It's like, if you're gonna watch Disney and sci-fi stuff and history stuff, like that's what you're gonna see. Like they dial it in. And if you want to peruse the darker realms of TikTok, they'll give you that too.
My saying, not even going to the whole Chinese security of TikTok. I think what bothers me the most is how these TikTok influencers are, and they're setting up very dangerous challenges and stunts. Like there's one where I read somewhere where the challenge is to set up a dance on a bridge to prevent people from walking across it, like at Disney World or something like that. Like, why? And then there's a lot where there's challenges of, like, especially for high school kids, and they're always having problems of trashing bathrooms, or there was a recent one, and this is what bothers me. I found very odd about society out here in Vegas. So there was apparently a TikTok challenge of where you go into grocery stores and cause a problem. So apparently these kids went into a local store here in Vegas and started to throw eggs. And of course, we all know the price of eggs right now. Yeah. So throwing eggs.
Those are precious.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Precious.
And then the story goes into that they assaulted a worker and hit them with a gun, the butt of a gun. So they pistol whipped
him.
Yeah. and they ran out of store. All right. Now, granted, Vegas area is an open carry, so okay. I'm
Is
reading
it
the
really?
comments
I didn't
on,
know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Cool.
I'm reading the comments here, and people were more upset over the eggs than the employee getting pistol whipped. And there was even one comment that go, can we step back for a moment and realize that we are complaining more about them wasting eggs than assaulting an employee with a gun? like, like
Okay,
there's a problem here.
okay,
Mm,
let's dial it back even earlier than that. W- The fact that so many uh shall I say non-adults are goofing around and doing this kind of nonsense. There's got to be some kind of goal in life better than to do a TikTok challenge. Come on. Can we go rescue puppies or something? Can somebody get like, well, I don't know, create a personal best over how many sit-ups you can do or push-ups or something else
mhm.
other than this nonsense of playing around on TikTok. And I am watching my language, my friends.
Well, it's interesting because as I'm thinking about it, doing these challenges for TikTok is similarly to not even 5, 10 years ago, where they were doing things for the Insta. Remember that? Like when it was all
It
about doing
wasn't,
things for Instagram. Like that
well,
was it.
yeah,
Well,
do
that
it for the
was you were
gram.
looking. You're doing it for the gram or whatever. Yeah, you're doing it for the
Yeah.
gram. Like it's like that's I think that's a similar thing where you're looking to do something that's going to get you the likes, that's going to get
Yep.
you the comments. Like it's it's that instant
Right.
gratification of
Have
I'm
like something
being
that's
noticed.
worth
Yeah.
doing for its own sake. You know,
Yeah.
hey, I did a project in my house. Look, I cleaned my freaking closet, or I did a thing. I made the world a slightly better place. I met my neighbor and brought her groceries in. Something else other than this nonsense, so that we could truly admire one another instead of saying, ah, you threw eggs at some guy.
Right.
Yeah,
That would
but
be,
that's
yeah.
unfortunately what's it's like the saying the greasy wheel gets the oil. Like the
Mhm.
these acts are what gets the likes, gets the views. So that's what
And
people
but
see.
well, yeah, but the fact that anybody can value those jerk
Mhm.
offs
Yep.
for for liking them, like, oh, I got a bunch of idiots to like me. Like, why do you care about these people? Find
Mhm.
something that's actually valuable. Read a book, run a mile, do something, make your mother happy, learn how to cook, do something. The internet was here to
Yeah.
make life glorious, not this nonsense. So yeah, TikTok.
That's where
You,
it's, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I've got my my YouTube channel,
Yeah,
Read More
okay.
Bookly, where I talk about books because
Mhm.
books are important to me, and I review the books that I'm reading and the books that are good. So, the last one I reviewed was Treasure Island. I thought it was pretty good. And
The Robert Louis Stevenson's
yeah,
Treasure Island. Yeah.
yeah. And that's my, when we talk about my higher ed, I went to school to get an English degree. And so I like to think about these things literarily. And
Mhm.
that one was a lot of fun. And I did it in December. I'm looking forward to doing more.
Mhm.
And I like to read the hardest books I can find, frankly.
Hmm. See, and on the flip side, I'm not a big reader, but I
Fine.
do have two books that are on my list right now,
Oh,
and
tell
one of
me,
them, I
tell
guess.
me.
So there's one I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but it's a graphic. It was a web comic that got changed into a graphic novel, and it's Greek myth. It's Greek gods and goddesses, but like in present day, but doing like more
I think my
modern
daughter read
things.
that. I think my daughter read that.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's got like a very edgy drawing concept to it and things like that. It was given to me as a gift for Christmas, and I read through like the first section, like first chapter, and I was like, "Ooh, this is really good." And then Christmas happened, and I didn't go back to it. And I also received one of Dick Van Dyke's autobiography, like one of his books. So
Oh,
I'm
I think I read one of his, yeah, something like Keep On Moving or something like
so
that.
yeah, that's what I'm actually looking it up right now.
I enjoyed that a lot.
So speaking of challenges,
Yeah,
I
keep
started
moving.
last year.
Yes.
Yep. So speaking of challenges, I started last year. I'm continuing this year, where I actually challenged myself to read 10 pages every night. That's all I do. 10 pages a night. I've gotten through many books doing that. I'm actually right now. I'm reading The Art of War.
Oh,
So that's
going with a
pretty.
classic there.
Yeah, yeah. I have
My
not read that one
favorite
yet.
part of The Art of War is the
Yeah.
concubines getting trained. Have you got to that part, James? Concubines
No,
get
I
trained
right.
to be soldiers.
Yeah, no, I've not gotten to that part yet.
Because the general is like, okay, everybody, I'm gonna train your people, and the guy's like, I don't want to do it, and it's like, hey, I will train. I will show you that I can train soldiers by training your concubines, which are obviously not soldiers, right? And so he says, but you have to let me have my, I have to be in absolute control of this. It's like, okay. And at first they were all like giggling, and then it's been a bit of a while. As I recall, they're all like, hee, and they wouldn't do the commands that the general was telling them to do. And
Okay, yes.
yes.
Yeah, I know. So the book at the one I'm reading is actually kind of done by Amazon, because that was the only one I could find. Not going. It was actually free for Prime Reader, so I didn't have to pay for it. I could just download and read it. So
Cool.
it's before it dives into it. It has like commentary and stuff, and they did talk about that. That was interesting.
Oh, right. So that was my
Well,
favorite
wait,
part. I'm
isn't
like,
that
there you go.
isn't that considered like for free use? Isn't that
It ought to
eminent?
be
I was gonna say it's
public
like you
domain.
should be able to download it for free. Like that shouldn't even be a question.
Amazon's on to us now. So
Of
it
course.
used to be you could get a ton of things for free, and then Amazon started going, and now there's a lot that isn't. But let me tell
Yeah.
you about the magic. Are we doing this? Are we doing this, my brothers? We're talking
What are we?
about books. We're talking about books.
We could talk about books. I didn't have
Okay.
much of a schedule for today, so we could talk about books. Solution presents itself.
I have 3 library cards and 2 different apps on my phone. I have hot and cold running audiobooks all of the time. They are free.
Yeah, I should use that more. I don't. My wife does use a library app. I don't know. I like the Kindle app. I've been done. I buy
The
books.
library apps will also send it to the Kindle.
Yes, I know. I should take advantage of that.
In
I
which
haven't
case you
done
could
that.
get a better copy of The Art of War.
Our war. Yeah.
But
I'll have to look into that because I've been reading more and more. So I'll have to look into that.
there's another one for creative writer types. Riffing off of it, The War of Art, which is about writing and doing creative things by Stephen Pressfield. Break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. It's a very good one, actually. So,
Yeah.
Pressfield, you're like, whatever. But yeah, so
No, that's cool.
he's highly recommended. Seth Godin is, well, see, now I'm going to talk about a lot of different authors, but books matter a lot to me. Books matter a lot to me. And I'm always reading a lot of books. I'm actually trying to slow it down so that I can really enjoy them more. Cause I was like, pounding them too much, and I wasn't getting as much out of them as I could have. So I thought I need to slow down.
Gotcha. So I don't know about you, because I think you are a book fanatic, like you like your books. I'm finding myself, I'm actually more engaged in reading management and leadership books.
Hmm.
And like I've tried reading like books on other subjects, I just couldn't connect with them. But I've really I've always enjoyed any of the leader management books I've gotten. I've
This one
really
is
enjoyed them.
awesome. Never Split the Difference. This one is the bomb. I love this one. Never Split the Difference.
That's on my
Negotiate the
list.
Is it? Awesome. Awesome. Also,
Yep.
which I don't have a hard copy of, but I have it on, I bought the audiobook of Audible.
Yeah.
The Art of Learning by the
Mm.
guy
Okay.
who was this one's awesome because it's martial arts and chess. The guy who was the person that the movie Searching for, was it Bobby Fischer? Remember that chess movie about the guy who was the chess champion? Anyway, Josh Waitzkin. And he was
searching for Bobby Fischer.
Searching for Bobby Fischer. Yes. And it's really good. It's really freaking good because he's a super chewy chess guy. He thinks about chess and he thinks about learning. And he talks about it as a young person because he was, I don't know, some sort of insane, 14 or something, probably a little older than that when he became a super chess master. And he started really young. So it's interesting where he talks about when he first learned about chess as a 5-year-old in a park. And he went, and he's like, what is this?
Cool.
And some old guy was like, well, let me tell you. And then he like, kind of like, and then he like was like, boom, he had to learn everything about chess. And like the next game he showed up and blew them away. Like, what? So that's the way his mind works. So he was super chess master and he had this experience of accidentally being famous because his dad did this movie about him. Okay, fine. But that's not the end because as he got a little bit older, I don't know, 18 or 19, he became interested in martial arts. And so they call it push hands. So as a martial arts person, this is interesting to me. And so it's a very different kind of learning, as I myself know, the learning of using your body and as the forefront of the mind work. So super interesting and a ton of like personal. Okay, so management, leadership, like trying to do something for other people. Art of War is good for that. Never Split the Difference is amazing. And there are other ones like that. And John Maxwell, whatever. But this one is very like internal. The Art of Learning, super good. So
cool. Yeah, I really like John Maxwell's books. I just finished his The Self-Awareness Manager or Leader, I think it was, and that was really good. But yeah, no, I tend to really like the books that John Maxwell puts out, but there's been others that are on my list, and Don't Split the Difference, I think, is on my list. If it's not, it will go on my list.
that was, because I love that one. A particularly difficult boss. I was using, they like try to figure out what the person wants and reflect back to them. So I tried doing that. He was like impossible. So I was like, okay, so I need to like reflect back to him what he seems to want, and at least it at least ended the conversations faster.
That's good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's worth a lot.
Yeah.
That was worth a lot. I'm like, okay, because it has like very specific things to do. The guy was a hostage negotiator.
Okay.
So yeah. So and because okay, management books can be kind of dry, but especially if I like, more drama, more action. But so he's in there, he's like, okay, and we're doing this, and I did this. And then from that, he teaches like the lesson. So it's a little bit more interesting than your usual book. So so then he's like, okay, this is how you kind of learn from the person what it is that they kind of want to get from you in the conversation, and you reflect back to them and what it is that you're trying to do, so that you can eventually get like more information from them and get the outcome that you want.
Gotcha.
Very good. Super dramatic, super interesting. So I like that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
and
what I
then-
was saying. It's funny. I'm sitting here like nice and quiet because like I admit, like I said, I'm not a reader. Like it's probably my own, it is my own fault. I just don't take the time. I should, or at least I should do books on well, I'm gonna say books on tape, but audio books I should do, because I spend enough time in my car, as the Hetma and higher ed AV folk know. So yeah, I mean I should, because my books are not exactly, I'm not reading things that are, really
Watchmen.
big. The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I have a lot of these, like I've started, yes, I use the mask as a bookmark. But like I started this one and I haven't gotten that far. Like maybe it's the
Not even a
ADHD.
graphic
Maybe it's the
novel?
ADHD. Well, I started it. Like, it's
That's
probably the
Tim. I was
ADHD
the
more
same
than
way.
anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was the same way. I wasn't a big reader. I didn't read a lot. And I felt like I was missing out. Like, that almost that FOMO that we're talking about with ISE. I see people
Mhm.
talk about books, and I'm like, I really want to read more. So that's when I was like, I'm going to sit down. I'm like, hell, I can do 10 pages a night. That doesn't take long. What?
Right.
Depending on the book and the subject, it could take 10, 15 minutes.
Mhm.
So I sit there right before when I go to bed, sit down, I read my 10 pages, and that's it. And then
Mhm.
and like I said, I did that last year, and I was doing it every night until probably it was about May, June when I kind of got derailed. But that's also when my family was moving out here. Like, a lot was going on.
Right.
And then I started picking it
Life.
back
Yeah.
up again. Yeah. Where I was like, I missed it. I was like, I gotta get back to reading. And I started to read again. My mom got me. I'm a big ebook fan, and my mom actually
Mhm.
got me a physical book for Christmas. I looked at him like,
Right.
what am I supposed to do with this?
That's one of the other things
What?
too, is I found another book by Robert Louis Stevenson, and
Yeah.
it's physical. It's more than 100 years old. I'm like reading it slow
Wow.
frickin'ly.
I
I'm
mean,
reading it slowly, and I am enjoying I have a pencil. I underline things in it. It's a really fun book, and it's a totally. I honestly couldn't find a copy of it anywhere but on eBay, because it's kind of fallen out of favor. But I'm like,
gotcha.
this book is amazing. And I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, this is what
I
I want. I want to just juice the book out of it. Oh, yeah.
nice. There's a book like that I want to get back to reading. I was in college when I stumbled upon this book in a clearing bin,
Mm,
and I was like, the title caught my eye, and I'm like, huh, I wonder what this is gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more, God, I hate using the word jokey, because it's a serious topic, and the
okay.
book was very serious. And the title was IBM and the Holocaust. Yeah,
Well, those are
and
two
like,
things you don't typically hear together.
no, but it, I read it. I didn't get much into it. It was for me, it was a hard read because
Mhm.
it was I read the intro to it, the prologue, I think it's called. Um, and the writer said he spent 7 years doing nothing but research before he wrote a line. He just did 7 years on research. And so it was a very researchy book. So it was like really
A little
trying
too
to
much for you.
read it.
Mm.
Yeah, at that age, I think I'm now in the more mature. I can sit there and read well. But man, I would say that I learned a lot from that, and how tell you how IBM was a very critical component to the Nazi and Hitler during that era. And in fact, Thomas Watson, who was
Oh.
the president of IBM at the time, is
Mhm.
the only non-German to get the German cross during that
Hmm.
era. And he went back and forth for a while of, do I accept it or do I not accept it? And
Mm.
he finally decided not to accept it, because he was against what Germany was doing, like most Americans were, but
Sadly, not all of them
Germany,
were. There were a big
yeah, not
contingent that
all
were
of them.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were, but he also knew Germany was his
But yeah.
biggest client.
Oh.
So he didn't want to piss off his biggest client by not accepting it, but he also knew it was not a good thing to accept it.
Oh, so that was kind of early.
Yeah. And
Mm.
it was about, so it was really how well the punch card machine played in of how Germany and the Nazis were able to track down people using the punch card machines.
Wow.
And the guy who created the punch card machine, he was freaking nuts. Like he was, to show you how nuts he was, and this again was all before the Holocaust. That's he would never sell his product. He would only lease it because he thought people were going to steal his ideas. And he was so paranoid that people were going to steal his ideas that he built a fence around his house. And his neighbor's cats would jump on top of the fence and then jump in his yard. And he thought they were spies from his neighbors.
Cats
So
are
he
very
wired,
suspicious,
yes.
you
So he wired the fence up. So when the cats would jump on the fence, he would connect the wire to a battery and electrocute them, because he thought they were there to steal his ideas. Yes. That's how crazy he was. But he finally ended up selling his
Don't do that.
the punch card system to IBM. But for the longest time he wouldn't. He would only lease it. But yeah. Like I said, it was,
That's
I
yeah.
learned a lot from that book. I read maybe a quarter of it.
That's a lot of, yeah, it's a lot to take in just a quarter of a book. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my I did not go to good schools. My upbringing before college did not include well, let's just say good schools. And it took me 12 years to get my bachelor's degree finally. But that's what I click to. I click to the hardest books. So in a way, I'm like, I kind of, in an alternate universe, I would be still getting PhDs because that's what I like, the tough, really, really hard ones. And, maybe one day if I win the lottery, I can find a good school that would let me go join the people that want to talk about the really tough books, like Origins of Totalitarianism and the really hard ones. So I comfort myself by reading them and that's what I started. I was reading a ton of books, and then I'm like, I got to stop reading these just so much. I should stop and do a video review of every one of them. So not last year, but the year before, I was trying to do a video review of every single book I read. And that was a lot. That was hard to have to stop. And I'm like, maybe I have a problem because I can't stop.
I think we all have some kind of problem with one thing or another.
Right.
So having a problem with a book is not a problem.
It is a good sort of problem of the problems to have. So I think I've got about 130 videos of video reviews, but I'd like to do more, and I'd like to be more directed and like, okay, kind of pick one and do like a series. I do have a series of American literature. I call it The Immigrant's Guide to American Literature, where I go start from the very beginning. Because a friend of mine who is an immigrant, said, I don't know what are the American classics that I should read because I didn't go to school here. So I'm like, here we go. So so I went and did a list, and I started from like Pilgrim's Progress, which is not American literature, but it influenced those pilgrims that came over here on the Mayflower quite a bit. And I'm up to Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
That
Right.
is a
And
good
there's
one.
like 18 books in between.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of history between then and
Yeah.
then.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, I really like it. I'm still going at it. And it really, honestly, it was really meaningful to me to go back and read every single one of those books that I chose as the pinnacle of American literature and go, oh wow, this is what made America America. And this is what the people at that time in American history thought was important. And these were, it was really, really meaningful to me to do that work. And I'd like to keep doing it, but I'll get there.
That's really awesome. James, I think I'm going to take your approach on this. I think 10 minutes or 10 pages a night is definitely very doable. Or 10 pages a day at some point, because I'm sure I could find the 10 to 15 minutes to, sit down and read for a little while and do that. So I might take that approach and start chipping away at the books I got or graphic novels.
There you go.
Yeah,
My
interesting.
My recommendation is keep a list of books you want to read, because I find it, if I didn't have a book lined up to read next, then I kind of took a break.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you got to have the queue. Always groom the queue.
Yeah,
Groom the
my
queue.
queue. There's books I put on the queue first that I haven't even gotten to yet. That it's like, oh, I found another one I liked more.
Yeah.
Never
Oh yeah, and
run
I have books in the queue. I will say that. Like I've gotten books from conferences and stuff like that, and like there's things I'd like to read. It's just I just haven't. So it's it's not a question of the list. It's a question of the just getting it done. Pulling the trigger
right.
and getting started. So
All right, Murphy. I
Yes.
am tasking you and I to bug Tim in 2 weeks to see how he's doing on his
Jiminy
reading.
Cricket. We are the Jiminy Cricket committee.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna check in on you in 2
Hey.
weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you gonna try reading some more of Watchmen?
Yeah, I probably should, because actually I'm this one's technically a loaner from a friend, so I should finish it. He had already been through it, so it's like he's like, there's no rush to get it back. So yeah, really I should finish this and then go from there.
Personal review.
Okay. All right. I've seen the movie already, so
Yeah.
But so it's at least it's for me, it's helpful seeing the movie because it gives me better like awareness of what's happening in the storyline. So I'm already at least a little familiar with where things are going. But it's nice to see like certain gaps get filled in so far. So
yeah, and it is beautiful. The artwork is good.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The story itself, I'm like, meh. But yeah.
But
I have high
so
standards.
all right, so 2 weeks. All right, I will let. So yeah, we'll check. We'll have an episode in 2 weeks anyhow, so we could talk about it and we could check in with how I'm doing, and I'll let you all know how it's going.
There you go. 2 weeks. That's, if you do 10 pages a night, that's 140 pages.
Well,
there you go. Yeah.
This could be a little add-on if we want to just quickly do a round of like, hey, what are you reading right now? Which one are you on? You're reading Art of War? that one, James?
Yeah, I'm reading the Art of War right now.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
I'm trying to see where. Oh, see it. This doesn't really have it like that. It's because it's got all the different smaller, like the smaller comics built into the big book. So,
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I'll just have to be mindful of how many pages I'm doing. So,
Oh, well,
yeah.
10 pages of those is going to be pretty easy because
well, yeah, maybe I'll push it a little more. So,
I don't know. Do what you can. You could make it a time limit.
yeah, maybe I'll do that. Yeah,
Mm.
that at least with this one. So,
Yeah.
all right,
There you
cool.
go.
Well, there we go. And you know, it's funny. That's what I love about this podcast is that we could start like James and I were starting with ISE, and you know we were there.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's the thing. This is the way I say it. We have the AV and then we have the life, and this is the life part of the AV life. So it's the reality of it all. So you know, we're not just about the technology. We're also about the bigger bubble that is our world, the big blue marble.
Okay. So if we're going to talk about ISE, which is in Barcelona,
Yes.
I have a novel recommendation.
Oh, cool.
Awesome, amazing writer. Carlos Ruiz Zafón.
Okay.
The novel, he's Spanish, from Spain,
Mhm.
and it is set in Barcelona. Gorgeous book, Shadow of the Wind. So much fun. So much fun.
Shadow
It's
of the
not-
Wind. Okay.
And it's
Okay.
not one of those heady intellectual ones like the kind I like. It's super romantic, very like drama, and super good. Super good. I have, someone recommended it to me and I couldn't stop reading I had to read all of his books. Shadow of the Wind, Angel's Game, Prisoner of Heaven. Yeah. All of
So
them
if you're
really
listening,
good.
so as James and I were saying, if you're listening to this on Monday when this releases, you will you can, and if you're about to fly out to ISE, maybe you should download this book, or
Listen
maybe
to it
go
on
find
the
yourself
plane. It's
listen to it
gorgeous.
on the plane.
Oh.
Or if you're already there,
Mhm.
download it and have it ready for you to come home with. So
Mhm.
there you go. I was just thinking, Murphy, you read my mind. That's impressive from you know, all the way across the country. Yeah, it's like I was like, oh, we could recommend all these things for the people that are there. So there you go.
Yeah.
You got your recommendations for the ride home.
Everybody
So,
who's read it raves about it. Because
all
I
right.
like to say, what is your book? They go, have you heard of Zafón? I'm like, oh yes. And it's not challenging. It's lovely. So
All right. Well, there you go.
All right. Sounds good, Murph. I'll have to add that to my list.
if you want a novel, if you don't want to have to keep being a smarty pants manager type, but you just want a lovely novel, it's good.
Okay.
I have thought about some, getting away from the management leadership books, but like I said, they keep drawing me back. Like I enjoy reading them.
And they
Like,
suck me back in.
Yeah, I tried stepping away and reading some on. And I'll probably get some other non-leader management books in there, but right now I just keep finding myself drawn to them.
hey, books are great. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. All right. Well, this was definitely a great conversation tonight. For all of our listeners that are en route to ISE or are there already, or whatever your plans may be, have safe travels. Enjoy your time. Can't wait to hear about all the stories as they come up and as they come back from Barcelona. And as always, until our next adventure.